What's happening, guys? Anthony with Metal Miners. Hope things are going good for you, man. I want to show y'all some stuff. Got some vinyl I want to show you guys, actually. I've got 8 records. I think it's 8. Most of these were... a couple's been laying around. One maybe picked up from Discogs, and the rest of them were on sale. Some stuff I'm trying to round up for my end of year list, but maybe not all of them. Maybe a couple's on the end of year list. Don't want to spoil that. But in the background, at any rate, we're listening to Vrenth, Succumb to Chaos. There's the guys on the back there. If you're not familiar with these guys, 5-piece from Amboy, California. There's the inner here. This is a 2022 release on Rotted Life. Rotted did the CD, the cassette, and the vinyl, but I don't think the vinyls came yet. That's why I picked up the CD. There's the inner tray and the back cover. There's that art again. Gruesome Graphics did that art, and the Tumor Wizard there on the inner sleeve there. 8 tracks, almost 41 minutes of music. This is their second full length. You'll remember in 2020 they came out with that Baptism Death. Super death metal. Love the vocals on this stuff, man. It's kind of unique vocal style. Check it out playing in the background. Think you'll like it. Go to Rotted and pick you up one. I'm sure this will be on a lot of people's end of year list. Vrenth, Succumb to Chaos. All right, let's jump into this vinyl, man. I know y'all want to check it out. Some of these things you may want to pick up before the year's out. If you haven't, I'm sure most people have heard of most of these, but just in case you haven't, here they come. Y'all ready? First off the bat here, Chaotian, Effigies of Obsolescence. You see there at the bottom, 2022 release on Misako Un Oho. Did the vinyl. Dark Descent actually did the CD, and Extremely Rotten did the cassette. 3-piece, you see the guys there on the back from Copenhagen, Denmark. Kind of glossy, but you need to check that art out. Alexander Scott, I think is the guy's name. Death metal. Like I said, it's a 3-piece. You get 7 tracks on here. There's the track list in there. About 40.5 minutes of music. These guys have been at it since 2017. Had a couple demos. There's the guys there. And this is their debut full length. Heavy cardstock. Super stuff here. A couple of these guys are actually members of Sequestrum, if you're into that, but this is totally different. Starts out with a dreamy like landscape, soundscape I should say, for the first minute or so. Then you get 3 fast raps on the snare, and it's off to the races, and you realize that it wasn't a dream at all. It was a gangrene dream. You see track number 1. Relentless death metal with that modern flair, blasting drums with plenty of double kicks, sick cavernous vocals. What else? A heavy guitar tone that I just love. Excellent bass work that really showcased on the last tune there, that festering Carcinoid. You hear the bass come through in that. Super cool stuff. If you haven't heard of these guys, there's actually a comp that's got both of those demos on it that's floating around. I had a copy of it and I gave it away, but now I don't know what I was thinking. I need to find a copy. I've seen it on vinyl, but check them out if you haven't. Chaotian, Chaotian, in case you couldn't make it out there by that. Effigies of Obsolescence. I'm like Mark G with the C. I practice that stuff and I still can't say it, man. That one just came on this black vinyl. Super cool stuff. If you haven't checked these guys out, no time like the present. Next, I picked this one up from a Discogs seller. I've been trying to gather up all this guy's stuff, and I think this would pretty well round out my collection. I'm talking about Pneuma, Hagion, and this is the Trinity compilation. There's the back of it. That art there's by William Blake. This is a comp of the first 3 demos and the EP Rituals of Extinction EP. I think the tracks 1 through 3 are off the Trinity 1 demo, then 4 through 6 are off the Trinity 2, 7 through 9 are off the Trinity 3 demo, and then the remainder of the tracks to round up the 12, 10 through 12 come off of that Rituals of Extinction EP. Super cool stuff. If you haven't heard of these guys, I've shown them on here before. I think the last video I actually showed them their latest. San Antonio, Texas, death metal. At this point in the game, it was a one-piece. Ryan Wilson was doing it all. The total runtime on all of this is 32.5 minutes. Super cool stuff. I won't go into it too much because I've showed it so many times the last 2 full lengths I've shown, but crushing death metal. If you haven't heard of Pneuma Hagion, check it out. This one actually was put out on Nuclear War Now. Super stuff. Let's see. That one came on black too, but it's got some cool center labels. Looks like that. Pneuma Hagion, San Antonio, Texas. Death metal. Let's see. Here's one that I was excited to find. Nuclear War Now was having a sale, and I picked up some stuff from them, and this one happened to be there, and I jumped on it. Autophagy, however you want to say it. Bacteriophage is the name of the album. Check out that art. Marcio Blasphemator did the art. There's the back cover. There's the inside of the gatefold. Just absolutely spectacular art. Death metal out of Portland, Oregon. This is a 5-piece. You get 9 tracks, 33, almost 34 minutes of music on this. These guys have been at it since 2018 when they released a demo, and this is their debut full length. Modern death metal with that tremolo picking sound that you come to, appreciate out of the Pacific Northwest. Mid-pace for the most part, but it does have some tempo changes sprinkled in to keep it interesting. I love the guitar tone, especially when it comes to the front. Vocals are slightly back in the mix, thundering drums under those heavy guitars. Man, it's super death metal. If you haven't heard of these guys, you see they're out on Pulverize. You see the label right there. Super cool stuff. Picked it up at Nuclear War Now. Check those guys out if you haven't. And that one come on this orange tangerine looking merge. Super cool stuff, man. I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't see that one on the end of year list. Speaking of end of year list, this one could very well pop up on there as well. Check that out. Obscene. From Dead Horizon to Dead Horizon. That art there, Scald Vaudeur art, 2022 release on Blood Harvest. Death metal out of Indianapolis, Indiana. There's the guys. 4-piece, you get 10 tracks on this one, just a few seconds over 32 minutes of music. Active since 2016 through 17 under the name Blood Chasm, and then in 2017 they released Sermon to the Snake EP under the name Obscene, and then this is their second full length since that. Starts off about a minute and 25 second soundscape intro with some pianos and that kind of stuff, and then these guys are off to the races. This LP's got a unique sound, man. It scratches an itch that some of the other stuff that came out this year didn't. It has that vocal style that's reminiscent of Martin Van Drunen, complemented with those nasty guitars. Sometimes got a hint of regular heavy metal in the guitar melodies. It's got that old school death metal meets that modern death metal with a flair. You know, it's the previous. If you like the previous LP in it, The Inhabitable Dark, then you're gonna love this. Came out, of course, on Blood Harvest. Comes with these little strips, and if you click on the draw, there is you a download code. Pick this one up at Nuclear War Now as well. Was tickled to get it, man. Let me show y'all this. And there is the vinyl. Roger, I know you don't like it, man, but there was one variant available and this was it, man, so I got it, you know what I mean? On sale too, brother. I'm all about sales. Alright, moving on. In Grief, an Eternity of Misery. This, I had seen Liam show it earlier in the year, a few months ago, I guess, and had been looking for a copy ever since. And this is out on Iron Bonehead this year, 2022 release. This art here on the cover is by Baldi Gino. Death Doom out of Italy. It's a 3-piece on here, 10 tracks, 54.5 minutes of music, somewhere along there. You've got 2 members of Congenital Deformity on this release here. There's the guys right there, but it doesn't sound anything like Congenital Deformity. I love those projects as well, but this is totally different. If you're a fan of the early Peaceville stuff, that early Peaceville sound, those Death Doom bands, you're gonna love this. But it's more than that. The vocals are kind of different, and I couldn't put my finger on who it reminded me of, and I just kept on and I kept on. I knew I'd heard something that reminded me of it, and I know y'all gonna think I'm crazy when I tell y'all this, but I want you to check out the vocals on here, and then go listen to a Mgwa album, MGLA I call it. Cody says it's Mgwa, MGLA, and the vocal style is very similar on here. Great guitar work on here. You even got some violin sprinkled in to build that doomy sound. Just great stuff. Most of the tracks are over 5 minutes, but they do have 2 that are instrumentals. One's like 1 minute and 10 seconds or so, and the other one's approaching 2 minutes. But great stuff. If you haven't heard from In Grief, come on this double vinyl. I'll just pull one out to show you the center labels. Came on this black vinyl. If you're a fan of Death Doom, there's no reason why you won't like this. I'm telling you, it is good stuff, baby. Good stuff. Let's get a little further underground. What about some Undertomb, The Return of the Fallen? Check out these lads on the back. Came out digitally in 2020. This is a 2022 Adirondack Black Mass vinyl release here. Matt Records did the CD. This is Mexico City, Mexico death metal. The art on the cover is by Braha 13, I think it is, brother. If I got it wrong, I am sorry. Here's the inner. See the lyrics, the black on red don't show up that good sometimes. It's the 3 pieces. You can see there's 6 tracks, about 26.5 minutes of music, somewhere around there. Like I said, these guys have been at it since 2020, and this is their only release. so far. All three of these guys are heavily into the Mexican extreme music scene, the underground scene, playing in bands like Putrescence, Remains, Ravenous Death. I've shown a lot of Ravenous Death stuff on this channel. The band started out as a tribute to Miguel Angel, who passed in 2019, who was of Remains, Ravenous Death, Fractal Entropy, etc. A bunch of bands. Old school death metal, mid-pace for the most part, with burst of speed. Just great stuff. If you haven't heard of these guys, which I hadn't either, Adirondack Black Mass has some copies, and you will love it. A solid release. A solid release, my friend. This thing, you know, a lot of times when you get these and they play on 45 RPMs, you'll put them on 33 because it's a 12-inch, you know, and you just usually, and I never can see it says 45. At least they put it big enough where an old man could see 45 RPMs, man. 45 RPMs. There it is. Oh, there it is, man. Super stuff. I was glad to get that. Love that Mexican scene. Carcinoid. Check out that art. Excuse me. Necrofrost did that art. This is a 2019 Blood Harvest vinyl issue. Memento Mori did the CD. Headsplit did the cassette. The name of the release is Metastatic Declination. Metastatic Declination. It's kind of dark. I don't know if you can see it. Death Doom out of Melbourne, Australia. A 4-piece on this effort here. 8 tracks, 44 and a half minutes of music. These guys have been at it since 2018, and they had a demo then, and this is their debut. You see the Blood Harvest logo. Their debut full length. A couple of splits since. They had one with Gosudar and one with Carnal Altar, so you know what kind of company they've been keeping. There is you a download code if you want to check them out. I love this music, man. The bass is up in the mix with a killer tone. Female bassist, by the way, her name is Jess Ansar. Nasty vocals, raw, muddy production, lo-fi, crushing tones, thick, heavy guitars, man. Like I said, all held together by booming drums. Man, you're gonna love this stuff right here. I am telling you, when I heard it, I about fell out of the chair. I happened to be running a tractor that day and had some headphones on, and I listened to it all day, over and over. Man, that's good stuff. Good stuff, baby. You got it here. Last but not least, check out that cover art. Vong Yang, I think's how you say his name, did that art. 2022 Relapse Records issue. This is Rip to Shreds, Jubian, full length death metal out of San Jose, California. Actually moved up to a 4-piece on this release, 8 tracks, almost 36 minutes of music. If you're not familiar with Rip to Shreds, these boys have been at it since 2016. You know, Andrew Lee is the driving force behind this. Recording and mixed in his home studio. This is exceptional. I mean, it's just as good as the art is. Faster than mid-pace most of the times. It's got enough tempo changes. See that? I don't know if you can see. There you go. Enough tempo changes in it to keep it very interesting, keep you listening. Excellent guitar work, as well as everything else musically for that matter. Excellent release. Everything about it is well done, right down to this translucent red vinyl. Like I said, I picked it up at Relapse, and it is a 2022 release. that's it for me, boys and girls. Man, I appreciate y'all. I hope I didn't go through those too fast. I wanted to do them justice, but I didn't want to hold you all day. Don't know what we're going to do for our end of year list. Cody takes the Christmas break from school here next week sometime, I'm pretty sure, but he's going to come up here actually after Christmas, 27th or something like that. So sometime around in there, hopefully we can do our end of year list when we get together. I may have one more collection update before the year's out. I wanted at the beginning of the year, I wanted to do one a week, but I don't think I'm going to. I know I'm not going to end up having 52 videos this year. I think I'm going to end up with 40 in the end of year list. But I do want to do a video addressing that can metalheads be audio files, and I'm going to kind of do that with kind of a just like a little small room tour. I've got a real small room, but show you some of the equipment that I listen to my music on, and see what you guys think of that. It's not the best stuff in the world, but it works for me, and I'm very proud of it. Hope to see y'all then. Maybe do that next week. Appreciate y'all, man. Have a great